All right. Good evening, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another She Healthy Woman. We are excited tonight. We are here to chat and have conversation. And tonight, I will introduce her in just a little bit. But we have the wonderful Natalie Williams with us. I am Phyllis Booz, and I am excited about tonight because we have Natalie Williams, who is the heart behind the Heart of a Woman conference. Before we get into that, for those that are new, Sisters Healing and Evolving is a nonprofit in Charlotte whose mission is basically to create positive impact in the lives of women and men globally. So we have to start at home first. She is a 501c charitable organization and is providing knowledge, access, and support to resources that not only impact our participants' life, but the family life as well. And as part of my job here, my ministry, my passion, my love, I am the director of health education and a board member. I am also the CEO of Capacity Wellness, where we build the capacity for you to be well. And so tonight, we're just bringing on another opportunity for us to build our capacity. And that is going to be in the form of Natalie Williams. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about Natalie, but I really want Natalie to kind of expound on who she is. But Natalie is a coach, business development specialist, author, and a strong professional leader with extensive knowledge and experience in effective execution and implementation of policy, procedure, and programs. And so if you want to kind of cipher through all of that, Natalie is bomb. If you ever work with Natalie, you know 100% you can say one word to her and she has basically created your whole business plan. So she
Oh,
is insightful. Natalie was a formerly known as she was transformative roles as a director of operation at the CVMSDC and executive director of the Women's Business Center of Charlotte. And that's where I met her. She has over 25 years of financial, administrative, and organizational development and operational management and nonprofit experience. She specializes in assisting organizations, increasing productivity. I can definitely attest to that. Drive performance and enhance operational efficiencies. So, with all that, Natalie, let me just ask you. First of all, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. I know that bio was a little long, right?
But it's
I try to
full.
chop it down every time, but I
No.
am doing very well. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you so much to you and the wonderful executive director of
Yes.
Chandrell, for having me here today, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. You were here with us last year about this time,
Mhm.
weren't you?
I was. I
Yeah,
was. We did
yeah.
a session last year, and I can't remember the title of that one, but we did a session. I think it was about understanding who you are, something to
Yeah.
that effect. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are blessed again to have you. And I was a little selfish because I wanted you on not only just to talk about the heart of the woman, but anytime I can take time and tickle your brain, get some things out of your brain, that's what I'm going to do. So I took the opportunity to say, I wanted to talk to Natalie a little bit tonight because anytime we have conversation, it's
It's
something new.
good.
It's something new popping off. God throws down much information. So everyone else can listen in, but this is for me.
Okay.
This is for me.
I
I,
love it.
I
I'm
love
honored.
it.
I'm honored. Thank you.
I was thinking about when I met you, and that was about 2015, 2016
Hmm.
timeframe. I don't know if you remember where we met. I'm gonna put you on the spot.
You're going to put me on the spot about where
Yeah.
we met. I think I was at an event,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to say it was something that Dr. Tanya Thomas had created. And it
Mm.
was between like two, it was like by a bakery or something. It was inside of a little space.
Okay.
And we
That's
came out in the parking lot and we started and we engaged in our conversation.
You know what? I'm gonna take you back a little further than that because I started fangirling after you even before that. So, do you remember at Central Piedmont Community College there was a class, and there was a business class that you were at. And I don't remember if you were speaking or if you were coming just to make an announcement about some things that you were doing. That's where I met you, and I said, "Who is this woman? I need to follow her."
What?
And guys, I've been following her ever since. She cannot get rid of me. The words that come out of her mouth is true life, straight from God. So that is when we met. And that was 2015, 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that
So that
something?
was before. So I started the Women's Business Center. What, 216? 216.
Yeah. Yeah. I was at the grand opening, but
Wow. Yes, you were.
it
Yes,
was
you
at
were.
that class. It was at it was we were taking a class on something. I don't even remember what it is. And you were coming in to basically share about something, maybe the Women's Business Center, something.
Mhm.
And I just saw you just had this glow. You just
Oh,
had this glow. And I said, she's someone I want to know. And it hasn't, that has been the best thing since. So now that I've said all that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm gonna tell about myself, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit about you.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna switch this. I'm gonna switch this for a few seconds
And I'm gonna let
because
her.
because we're chatting,
We're
right?
chatting. That's right.
Um, you have been one person that I know that has been completely not just reliable but stable, and I think I've always told you this.
Mm,
You say to me the words that come out of my mouth, but the
mm,
prophecy that comes out of yours is a whole nother situation.
mm,
The very first time we gave you that opportunity to speak to your board at our building, I
mm.
was floored. Okay. You
Yeah.
presented such a well documented case about your business and why people should invest in it. You were passionate about your purpose and you were clear on your vision. And I'm going to tell you, I was like, this
Mm.
lady knows exactly what she's doing. That
Wow.
very, I don't know if it was that same year or it was right after that, that I asked you, it had to be the same year because that's when I asked you to do the session for me at
Yeah.
the Heart of a Woman conference. You did one for me then
Yeah, I did it on I think it was on breathing.
on
Yeah,
breathing.
on breathing, and I was terrified. I was like, what how much is there to know about breathing? But I learned a lot.
You did. And you did a wonderful job. Life Happens was the name of the
Oh
disease.
yeah, like oh yeah, I remember it wasn't breathing. It was that. It was life happens. Yeah.
So you've been with me for 3 years.
Yeah.
You have done three occasions. So this year you're going to do a session, which I'm really excited about
Yes.
on pain.
Mhm.
Prior to that, you did we had a spa and you did the
Right.
breathing techniques
Yes.
in the spa. But
Mhm.
prior to that, you did a session on Life Happens.
Life happens. Yeah. That
And
one. Yeah.
how
That
you were
one.
challenged to move. So I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you and I'm grateful for
Amen.
yes. And
Amen.
I hope that you see that each time, every time you deliver, God
Mhm.
has been in the picture.
Yes.
So it would be no different from this time now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings us to a great point because when we're talking about the heart of the woman, every conference that I have attended to date, hands down, I couldn't imagine one being greater than the other. Like when I attend one last year, it's like, oh, the next one is going to be okay because there's no way that it could get better. But every single year, God just pours into you so much, and your conferences, his conference,
Exactly.
the heart of the woman is so rich, and your speakers and panelists, they just fit e- perfectly into the design. So tell me a little bit about, we have the heart of the woman conference, but tell me about the heart of the woman that's behind the conference, that's fueling that conference. Tell me how it all kind of come together.
So it's a call. And
Mm,
some people may think that you are not supposed to mix the two,
mm,
marketplace and Christ, but you
mm,
have
okay.
to. And I say that because I came from an environment where I was told that I really couldn't pray with individuals. And that wasn't good for me because I know who makes the day, I know who creates the evenings. And I am so grateful for the fact that he has placed me in this particular type of a platform to be
Mm-hmm.
able to share his goodness from a marketplace strategy. The
Mm.
goal of the Heart of the Women's Conference and the heart of me is really to build women, to build minority, small
Mhm.
businesses. And I say it in that format because it's not just women that we're building. We also, build men in their businesses, but it
Mhm.
really is a passion around the people of color, and it's also a passion around the people who have been classified as underestimated, right?
Mm.
And so we are always in this position of lacking something and
Yeah.
never getting the entire picture. And so the Heart of a Woman was designed so that we could take the women behind the veil, so that we can take the small business owner behind the veil and make sure that we're incorporating the whole piece. It is a holistic conference.
Mhm.
So we
Mhm.
deal with four components, four pillars in our conference. And this is what God gave me: an entrepreneur track where we talk about specific entrepreneur trainings. We have an industry track where we're bringing in different industries. So, like whether it's in a nonprofit industry, a manufacturing industry. So, we do this throughout different conference formats. We
Mhm.
also bring in the professional development portion because as a small business owner, there are so many different pieces and components out there that it sometimes is difficult to figure out which one is really right for me. So when
Mhm.
we do these conferences, we're bringing you authenticity. Something
Mhm.
that you said about the presenters, I pray
Mhm.
about every conference. I pray about every person that is supposed to be a part of this conference. And so in my prayer, God answers and he brings those individuals, and each one of them always say yes. So I'm
Mhm.
always amazed by that. I also have people who ask, can they be a part of the conference too? So
Mhm.
those individuals are the people that I also pray about, but God allows them to see it first before
Yes.
they can experience it, because it's
Gotcha.
not a typical conference
It's
and
not.
everybody can't be a part of it, right? Because
Mhm.
it's like you have to nurture this baby that you have, and I'm very protective of that baby.
Mhm.
Last pillar is the lifestyle, mind, and body. That's the
Mhm.
part where we get to talk about our mental states, our physical states. Where are we spiritually? Where are we, in this world that we are dealing with a lot of issues,
Mhm.
challenges, and we do have successes, right? So how
Yes.
do we share those stories of our success as well? Everything is not doom and gloom, but how do we share them? How do
Mhm.
we build and empower the next person so that they can be the best that they are supposed to be? That's
Yeah.
what the Heart of the Women's Conference is about. It's
Yeah.
really about getting to the heart of the
Mhm.
woman and
Of
the
a
heart
woman.
of the person.
Because that woman is what makes up the vision for the business. And I think we've been in a culture where it's not okay to have the issues. It's not even okay to talk about the issues.
Right.
We have to man up as a woman in the industries that we're in. We have to man up. But
Yeah.
your Heart of the Woman conference allows us to not man up, but to woman up and to be the full woman that we are.
Yes.
The heart of who we are. You always, I never ever forget this. You would say, never underestimate who is in the room.
Power of the
And
room.
the one thing that I noticed, not in any class that you've taught, any coaching session that you've taught, you are one of the best networkers. You are, not only are you great at it, but you seem to know how to connect each individual person. It is nothing for you to say, Phyllis, I need you at this. I think you did that to me one time. Um, you called me. You called me and said, Phyllis, I need you at this event. And I'm like, well, now, no, I need you to be there. And what I really, yeah, y'all, I'm just gonna tell you, if you haven't dealt with Natalie, just do what she says to do. Okay. Pick up the phone, say hello, just say yes. But you told me that I needed to be in this particular space, and I didn't know why, but I showed up. And when I showed
Mm.
up, it was like God just completely illuminated to me something that I didn't even know I had in me, something that was brewing, but you allowed me to see it already manifested, and allowed me to see that. And
Mm,
you told me you were going to be there. And I was
mm,
like, wow. Okay. And you always would say, never underestimate who was in the room, because it's sometimes easy. You go to these networking events and you walk around, you talk and things like that. You're centered on you. A lot of times you're centered on what you bring to
mhm,
the table,
mhm,
instead of realizing that, oh, that person over there, they may have something that's going to really bless my socks off. And you really open my eyes to that.
mm.
Just never underestimate someone that I might think may not have,
What you
has
need.
everything.
Yep. Yep.
Another person that I think has may not be in a position. So I love that. So talk a little bit about being in the room. So you're in the Heart of the Woman conference. What is it like being in the room?
So the conference, and I'm going to say something too. Now you made a preface. You said something about I do a really good job at network. I'm a bust your bubble. I hate it. I
No,
am,
really,
yes, I am not the person that wants to be gathered.
really.
Yes, and I don't like presentations.
Yeah, you did bust my bubble. I didn't know that.
I
I had no
don't,
idea.
I don't. But once I understand my purpose and I stop focusing on me, like you just
Mm,
said, then
mm,
the Holy Spirit, God just really takes over. And then
mm,
it just gives me the ability to share. The heart of the woman, and I'm going to say this, people are selected and in the
mm,
room because they need to be in the room to meet other people. And like
mm.
I said to you, I said, I need you in this room for this conference because I want you to meet X, Y, and Z.
Right.
In designing the conference, that's the purpose. It is about the networking. It is about the growth and the expansion and the opportunities that lie that people don't often see. That
Mm-hmm.
somehow I have this vision that I can see. Oh, I can see this person connecting with that person. It's about being unselfish and
Mm,
making sure that we're building, like literally building a community, a
mm.
real strong ecosystem of people. When I'm finished with a conference and I see later on another year, two people have connected because they met somewhere that I created, that brings me so much joy.
Wow.
It
Yeah.
brings me so much joy. And then now they're partnering and they're doing this, that, and the other because that's the purpose. That's why we
Mm.
network. I always now I do say never underestimate the power of the room because you never know who's in
Right.
there. But the
Exactly.
other thing is too, when you're connected with someone, their their vision, your
Mm.
mission, it's connected.
It's connected. Yeah.
It's connected. No
Yeah.
matter how often you try to not let it be, it is connected. You are
Yes.
predestined
Yeah.
for a time. And when
Yes.
that time shows up, everything is matched to that particular time. So even
Absolutely.
like for me right now, I feel like I'm on this ride. I am on a complete ride because I am willingly just undoubtedly just moving the way he wants me to move.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to grab every person that I can grab that he tells me to grab
Right.
on my way.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Amen.
in this connection, there is building and there's a purpose greater than who I am, greater
Yeah.
than who you are. And I understand that these things that are happening, they are my assignment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is my assignment.
Absolutely. And that's such a tremendous point to support even what we're doing tonight. So in the chat, we have the wonderful Chandrell Green, founder of Sisters Healing and Evolving. And just as a great example, I'm doing what I'm doing now because of the connection that
Right.
her and I have. And we have both been touched by you. And
Oh,
so we both been counseled and talked to, and we've attended conferences together. And the vision that she had connected with my heart and connected with some of the things that I wanted to do. And now we partner in a lot of the things, and it makes it so much easier to reach the people that God needs us to reach. Each
let,
joint
let me say
supplies
this
food.
too. Let me
Mhm.
say this too. You're connected because of the value
Right.
that she adds to you and the value you add to her.
Hmm.
Often tell people in our training sessions and in my training sessions, what's your value proposition, right? And then what is valuable to you? Because you
Mm,
can't connect to everybody because
correct.
everybody's value system doesn't
Mm,
align with your value system. And
okay.
oftentimes, when you're creating these partnerships and these relationships in this business, it just goes to the hill because sometimes we're not looking at the value. We're looking maybe at the money. We may be looking at the notoriety. We may be looking at the influence. But it's more important to look at the value.
The
If
value.
someone's value system does not line up with your value system, don't
Hmm.
enter into an agreement or an
Right.
engagement. Just stay
Right.
away. You know, you can provide advice, but don't let your business be at stake or be at
Yeah.
risk in going into a relationship or partnership with somebody that does not have the same value as you do.
Exactly. And I would say you walk that out, and I've watched you walk that out
Mhm.
in different partnerships that you've
Yep.
had.
Yep.
As you made your transition, I never thought you would not be at the Women's Business Center. You have, so much impact, but at one point you said, okay, there needs to be a transition. And so tell me how that transition has been. It's been at least 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
It has been 2 years,
Yeah.
and it's been a unique place because people often associate you with where you are, right?
Right.
So sometimes people, you see people leave corporate, you see people leave other things, and sometimes you go, "Oh, I can't see you anyplace else but that," or I
Mhm.
can't see you doing anything but that. But when God spoke to me and told me I had to move on, I was at a question. I was like, "Really?" And
Mm.
so I have to be extremely obedient because I know what it's like to be disobedient. And I don't like
Mm.
that place.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not a fun place
It's
to
not a
be.
fun place to be. And
Yeah.
so I had to be obedient, even in the sight of my not being able to see. Right.
Mm.
I
Mhm.
knew that he was going to pull me because he told me, but I didn't know when it was going to be. And then when he told me, I was like, okay. And then when he pulled me, I was like, okay. So
Yeah.
I transitioned probably a little different than most people transition because of the fact that I always want to make sure that I'm giving him the glory and not me. And
Correct.
so in the 2 year transition, I kind of went to some other places where I wanted to be of use and of service as a
Mhm.
workforce development type of situation. And then God just kept rising up because I really was like, I'm not supposed to do this conference. Maybe this is not really
Mm.
supposed to happen. And then I kept hearing, you got to get up and do this. And I'm like, this is crazy. So
Mm.
again, in my obedience, I had to be obedient. And I'm looking and I'm hearing people's responses to what's going on in, the community and stuff. And so I just had to answer the call. And so I did. And so last year was the first year doing the conference, strictly specifically under my brand. And then this year is the second year. And
Mhm.
so it is a little nerve wracking. I'm not even going to sit here and act like it isn't because it is, because,
Yeah.
you always have that, the enemy always wants to put doubt. You always
Mm.
wants to put fear, wants to put things in your way. And I think I expressed to you, I went to Kentucky this year and I wasn't sure why. I was
Mm.
drawn to go there for 3 years and I wasn't sure. Now,
Mhm.
listen to this. 3 years ago, I was
Mhm.
supposed to be there. And I didn't go the first year because I got a sciatic. The second year, I went to Tennessee. This third year, I was like, okay, there's something still calling me here to Kentucky and I need to go. And I'm
Mm.
usually trying to be obedient to the call for an assignment. So I thought it was somebody that I was supposed to meet or I was supposed to minister to. Didn't know that the message was for me when
Mm.
I got there. And it
Wow.
wasn't until I walked into the Muhammad Ali Center that I
Mhm.
realized that the message was for me.
Wow.
And so it really brought tears to my eyes because it was so surreal. So I sit down in this chair and the screen comes across and it says, "If you could just dream."
Mm.
I was like, "What?" And it went across again. "If you could just dream." Now at this
Mhm.
point, I'm already thinking I'm giving in the towel. I'm not doing this conference. I'm not moving forward. And this is in
Mm.
July.
Okay.
This is
Of
in July of
th
this year.
of this year.
Of this year.
Wow. Okay.
This is
And the
July
conference the
of
conference is in
in
October.
October.
Okay. I'm
Okay.
tracking. Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not going to happen. And the words just kept going across the screen. And then when he opened his mouth, Muhammad Ali, on that screen.
Mm,
I didn't even understand what was going on, but tears was just rolling down my eyes. I was like, what is going on?
mm,
And once that film stopped, but he opened his mouth and he said, I am who I am.
mm.
And I'm
Wow.
meant to be here. I was like, what is going on? I mean, it was unbelievable. Then the film stops. We go out into the floor, and they cure. If you've never been there, I would suggest everybody to take a trip to the Muhammad Ali Center in
Mm,
Louisville, Kentucky. They
okay.
curated this thing with passion and love for this man. It's
Mm,
unbelievable. And I go out onto this floor and I see all of these words and everything and things that he said and how he prophesied over himself being the greatest at a
mm,
young age, how he prophesied over himself of not giving up. And he said, you
mm,
can't give up. You can't give up. And I
mm,
thought to myself, you brought me here to tell me that I can't give up?
mm. All the way to Kentucky.
All the way to Kentucky, 7.5 hour ride.
Mm,
And at the end of the day, God said to me, how far will you go, Natalie, to hear from me?
wow. Wow.
So I came back from Kentucky strengthened, concentrated, and focused, which is the
Mm,
theme of this year's
yes,
conference. Focus,
absolutely.
unshattered dreams. Dreams that we thought were shattered are not shattered, they're
Mm,
unshattered. I
yes.
came back with a determination to make sure that I'm going to deliver this thing the way He wants it to be delivered. And the
Mm-hmm.
people that are supposed to be in that room are going to
We're
be
going
in
to
this
the
room.
room. Yes. Yeah. And so here is the advertisement for it. Heart of the Woman, October 19th and 20th. Focused, unshattered dreams. And I love that. And I'm even thinking about the conference in a very different manner when you just said that. How far will you go to hear me? How far will you go to obey me? A lot of times we do have to be set aside. We do have to leave what's comfortable for us.
Mm-hmm.
We have to leave what's familiar to us to be able to hear, because it's in that everyday thing we do that we get used to the voice. We get used
Mm.
to hearing what we think. But sometimes, like you, he had to pull you 7 hours away just to say, okay, now I have your attention, Nally.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have your focus. I have your focus, Nally. Now let's talk about unshattered dreams. Let's do that. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm even more ready for this conference than I was before. Oh my God. Yes. Miss Ann says that word is hitting her hard.
Mm.
Yes, ma'am. And again, that's if you sat with Natalie for a while, this is exactly what you get. And I love that, because you think about unshattered dreams. What are some of the barriers? So I know you have some dreams. I know you have lived some dreams. But when you think about unshattered dreams, you know, elaborate on that. What does that mean to you?
So, what it means to me, and what it means in respect of this particular conference, there have been tons of people. So, I've been a nonprofit for over 35 years,
Mm,
and I'm still learning nonprofit. I'm still learning, and it's such a huge ability to be philanthropic and helping communities and people. And so I say that because unshattered dreams around not just unprofit philanthropic agendas, but for profit businesses. We are in post COVID
mhm,
and we are running like never before. We were not designed for the
mm,
way that we're running.
mm,
We weren't. And people's
mhm,
mindsets, people's ability to ground themselves is getting thinner and thinner. Hence
mm.
why you're doing the session that you're doing.
Yes.
Um, those things that we're floating on feel like they're shattering into pieces.
Mhm,
I've spoken to so many people who are now, having challenges with mental stability, Some are on medication. Some people are throwing in the towel. Some
Mhm.
people feel like if they failed, they are a complete failure. And the two, are not synonymous. Falling and failing is not synonymous of each other. They're
Mhm.
separate, right?
Yeah,
But
right.
there's strength in failure.
Mhm.
And oftentimes we don't want to talk about the
Mhm.
strength in failure and repositioning ourselves,
Right.
reposturing ourselves, repurposing ourselves, just restoring ourselves. So
Mhm.
unshattered dreams is about that. Let's
Mm.
reposture ourselves. How do
Mhm.
you posture yourself for the new affirmative action that's coming out? Right?
Mhm.
We want to talk about what's going on in today's society, not have our head in the sand, because
Right.
these things are transformative for small business owners, right?
Mhm.
We've
Right.
got the affirmative action going on. So, what does that mean inside of the workplace? And how does that workplace affect the marketplace?
Right.
Let's talk about that so small business owners can be prepared on how to pivot so that they don't have
Mhm.
to feel like their dream of becoming a supplier to a corporation has been shattered. They don't have
Mhm.
to feel like the dream that they wanted to be the number one person in their field or the go-to that has been shattered. No, it's not shattered.
Mhm. Mhm.
The dreams that you have had are going to be a reality. I'm just going to say that right now.
Mhm.
The dreams that you have had, you're going to learn the tools at this conference on how to make the sustainable models in your business so that you can function without all of the pieces in our brains that are going
Mhm.
all around us. Well, how do I do this? How do I do that? So we're going to bring QuickBooks
Mhm.
training to you. We're
Yeah.
bringing grant writing training to you. We're bringing government contracting to right to you. You don't have to go
Mhm.
anywhere else but pay for the conference to get what you need for 2 hours.
Mhm.
Not doing 1 hour trainings. We're doing 2 hour trainings because
Mhm.
what we want you to do is the work,
The work, right?
do the work while
Mhm.
you're there, right?
Mhm.
But walk away with a plan.
Yeah, and that's definitely different than some of the other conferences because other conferences we receive, and you get the concepts and they're great. But even when you think about the title focus, if these 2 hour conferences, roll up your sleeves and let's get to work. And
Let's
so
get to
that
work.
really, and I also heard about the sustainability of what we're doing. And so it's great to get information, but it also a wonderful thing to be able to have the opportunity to apply it and to execute it in a safe space, in a space where someone can continue to coach you through any misunderstandings, anything that you don't understand about the process. You're in a great space to be able to work that out. So I
Let
love
me
that.
let me let me say this too. What I love
Mhm,
about every presenter at this conference is that if you connect with them today, you
mhm.
can connect with them tomorrow.
Yes,
We don't
yes,
bring people to the conference just to be people who talk and then later on they go and you don't see or you can't connect, you can't get that help. No, that's
yes.
not how this is
That
designed.
that is not. That is not.
Every person has a heart to serve.
Yeah, yeah. The challenge you will have is picking the one that you want to connect with because there's so many. I think I walked away with five that I
Mm,
wanted to connect with. It was like, okay, how do I connect? And so there was one in particular that I was like, wow, I need to know her. I need to know her more. I need her to be, and unbeknownst to me, was taking a class. She's actually one of the facilitators in the class, and through the facilitation of this class, we actually get coaching sessions every single month with this one person that I was like, that's the one. So you're so right. Very, very much approachable, very much a part of my process, very much a part of my mind, how I'm thinking, just right. I mean, touchable. I can talk to this person every single month
mm-hmm,
to be able to continue to fine tune the things that I need,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
and it was out of going to this conference. Who
mm,
knew? Who knew when I left the conference that I would be able to be a part of what she was going to be a part of? And it's so instrumental. I dreamed of it. I said, I really want her,
mm.
but I didn't know how that was going to happen. But God makes it happen.
He
it
does.
it
He
did, and he
does.
does, and so I love that. But yeah, definitely true. Your presenters are spot on, and they're very approachable. They want to help you.
They want to help you. And
They
the thing
want to
about when
help.
you go to a conference is what I tell people is really strategy.
Yes.
You know, you have to remember when you walk out of the door, your money walks out the door with you,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Okay.
you're valuable. You're like a lawyer. When you go see a lawyer, they're clocking by the minute, every
Mm-hmm.
15 seconds or 15 minutes that they're meeting with you. Your time is just as valuable. So when
Mm-hmm.
you're going to go places, and how I design the conferences, I want people to come in to understand what's my purpose here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the work. I'm going to learn, but who can I connect with? And then the other thing that people don't ever exempt yourself from something.
Mm. Yeah.
Never underestimate the power of the room. And oftentimes, as a small business owner, we exempt ourselves immediately from something. We see someone, I can't touch them. I can't talk to them. I don't know. You know, never exempt yourself from something or someone.
Yes.
The fact that you are in the room
Mm-hmm.
means you're supposed to be in the room. So
Yes.
look at the opportunity and take advantage of the opportunity that has been
Mm-hmm.
presented to you.
Right.
The fact that you've made an investment in yourself to attend a
Mm-hmm.
conference like this means
Mm-hmm.
that there is a message for the and that lines up with the purpose that you
Mm-hmm.
have to do in this earth.
Right. So there's a saying, we know that a three chord strand
Mm.
is not easily broken. What would you say are the three chords of the heart of the woman or the three chord strand of Natalie? Either one. You can answer either one or both.
So that's gonna kind of probably make me cry. But yeah, you know, I do that easily. But the three chords for me really and truly is allowing a space for a woman to really understand her identity.
Mm,
That identity part is so critical. I was physically, you know, my background, I was abused in, you know, from a when I was younger with in a relationship,
mm-hmm,
and not really understanding who I was is really what took me to the next level.
mm,
Once I started to realize who I was, and even today, I still, you know, I grow in that. I grow
mm-hmm,
in that every day. It became so much more clearer to me, my purpose. So, one of the cores is really understanding who you are, your
mm,
identity, and understanding number two, that you are enough. You really are enough.
mm-hmm,
You're enough. You don't need to compare yourself to somebody else. You are absolutely enough. The
mm.
other core for me is you said, you know, I'll try to help people, but I like to bang things into people's head.
Yes, ma'am. You do.
Value is
Yes.
understanding the value of what you bring.
Mm,
I
mm-hmm,
think a lot of times we don't really understand the value, and it's difficult for us in some cases, in most cases, for women to really hear how much value and how
yeah.
beautiful we really are, right?
Mm-hmm,
You're beautiful. One, know who you are. Two, understand the value that you bring. When you walk in that room, when you walk in that room, you're supposed to be in that room.
yeah.
You're supposed to be in that room. There's not a mistake.
Mm-hmm,
That's that value and that mistake. You're not a mistake. You
mm-hmm.
weren't born a mistake. You were here and you're meant to be here for a reason and for a purpose. So
Yes.
know who you are, understand the value that you bring. And then number three, the other chord is really family.
Mm,
Trust yourself, love yourself, because your family will wrap themselves around you to the point where
mm,
you are. It's my kids are
mm-hmm.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Things that they say to me is unbelievable, but I do what I do for them,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I do what I do for them.
Yeah.
Family is extremely important to me, and
Yeah.
especially my children and my grandchildren.
Yeah. And
Know
you
who you are, and I do that also
okay.
for my granddaughter and my grandson, but more importantly for her because she's a young African American woman. And I
Yeah.
want her to see and understand her value when she walks into a room.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to take attention to her.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Anytime I'm around your family, um, the strength that I see in them, the respect in the love that I see in them for you,
Mm,
and the support.
yes.
I don't think I've ever seen an unwavering example of that family commitment. But you can tell that you've instilled in them and you have been that example for them,
Mm,
that they are just giving it back to you.
mm,
You showed them, because see, you said something about, okay, your past and the things that have happened in your past. You came to the table feeling shattered,
mm.
right? You came to what you do, what God had for you, you came shattered, but you remembered your value. You remembered your strength. You remembered your family. You remembered your identity. And now you can teach others how to be unshattered. Do
Mm.
not let the things of the past or present, because we
Yes.
all going through something.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
don't let those things, because a lot of times when we show up shattered because
Mm.
someone said something to us, or there was a disbelief, there was dysfunction. There are a lot of things that create a shattered mentality,
Mm-hmm.
a shattered existence, shattered
Mm-hmm.
finances, shattered business, failed business, all the things. But so we come feeling shattered,
Yeah.
thinking we're shattered, when actually, see, all we have to do is put the pieces right into the hand of the one that created us.
Yes.
That's what you do. And that's what your family surrounds you like a cloak, that garment that just shines. I've been around your family, just when for your birthday, being around your
Mm-hmm.
family, they were just, it was all about mom.
Mm.
It was all about mom, and they love you to pieces, and you can see that love. You really
Mm.
can. It's in your husband. It's all the things, and so not every family goes through their things, but I can tell that your family cord, that part, that one strand is extremely strong. Is extremely strong.
And I do want to say that the bottom of the end and inside of that cord is nothing but God. I
Amen.
cannot
Absolutely.
leave him out of the cord.
Absolutely.
He
Absolutely.
is the existence for me. I can do
Absolutely.
nothing without him. And I mean that sincerely.
Yeah. So the Natalie that, let's just back up maybe 5 years ago.
Ooh,
Is there, I know, right? Is there anything, at least I didn't go back 10 years.
thank you.
So the Natalie 5 years ago maybe had a dream that she doubted would come to pass. Now looking back in the rearview mirror, what was that dream?
5 years ago, I would say this. Let me tell you something. So I don't want to say too much without revealing so much either.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of it is birthed around the business, me starting the business, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving myself that grace period, 2 years to see where I want to be, how I want to land, who I want to service, and so I'm in that 2 year period. But the
Mm-hmm.
other part is this conference, right? This conference plays a major role because it's such the baby that God had given me.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been wanting to bring in New Jersey into my life because that's where I'm from. I'm like, well, how do I bring New Jersey here to North Carolina? And let me tell you, I've been praying about this and I've been chasing one of my friends for like 2 years. I'm like, I got to get her here. I
Mm-hmm.
want to get her here and get her surrounded. And God has opened the door
Wow.
this year for that to happen. And
Oh,
I'm
wow.
telling you, I get choked up when I think about
Yeah.
that because it is a reality. When you pray for a thing, He'll answer that.
Yeah.
And I want every person who is on here who is maybe feeling like it's so far in the distance that it's not going to happen. He
Mm-hmm.
is true to it.
He's
He is
true.
true to it. So on Thursday, we have a monologue presentation. We're actually
Mm.
bringing in theater, like theatrical, little
Wow.
monologue for our welcome reception to talk about Sister, Sister, Oh My Sister. It's a
Mm,
production created by one of my childhood friends, sisters,
wow.
Carmen Davis from Asbury Park, New Jersey. And
Wow.
I cannot tell you how elated I am for God to hear that
Mm,
and to answer that. And
yeah.
so I will tell you this, when he does that, I go in, I go under. I go
Yeah.
in and I start praying for all kinds of things. God, I need you to do this in the world, not just for me, but for
Hmm.
the world.
Right.
If we
Right.
understand the power of our prayer, it's not
Mm,
just for us, it's for the world.
yes. Yeah.
And
It's
those things that we see happening will be changed because we are
mhm,
the people that's in the position to have that ability. He said we have that
yes.
to tread upon the serpents, right?
Hmm.
So I'm praying for this over here, no matter what it looks like.
Hmm.
He's going to get the glory.
He's gonna get the
So
glory.
5 years ago, I wanted this New Jersey to come to North Carolina, and they're
Wow.
here.
And is here.
And they're
And
here this
and
year.
and I already, you say you gonna get choked up, and because if anyone's attended the conferences, you can't help it, you gonna cry. You are going to cry at some point, and I'm already feeling it. Um, I'm glad I'm gonna be in the place. Matter of fact, I took off the whole week just so that I can
Woo.
just be in the presence of whatever happens.
Wow.
But it's such a beautiful space to be in because you will have the laughter, you will have the tears, you will have the aha moments, the revelations, you will have, you know, if you are led to put your hands and lay your hands on someone and pray during that conference, it's going to happen. Um, it is going to happen. Because at my event, my board meeting presentation, I remember in the
Mm.
kitchen, you laid your hands on my daughter's head and you were in there praying down. I walked in and I'm like, she got it. And and just to see how God's hand has been on her life, because you just weren't saying, oh yeah, I'll pray for you, or hey, let me say a little cute prayer. I don't even think y'all remembered where you were.
Mm.
I don't even think you remembered where you were. It was just y'all were in the kitchen and y'all were praying. She had her hands up like this. You had your hand on her head. That was it. That was it. So you can just expect so much, of God. Chandrell says, yes, I've cried at both, all the ones that she's attended, right? But it is such a healing cry.
Mm.
It's a healing, because we do carry so much as women. We do, we're trying to figure a lot of things out and be we got dreams. We have dreams for our family. We have dreams for ourselves. Like you said, you pray for the things of the world. And you are someone that will never stop praying and never
Mm.
stop believing in the power of prayer. So
Mm.
when you attend the Heart of the Woman conference, know that it is steeped in, grounded in, surrounded, slap and slathered, buttered down,
That's this word.
buttered down and marinated. Put a Ziploc bag in the Ziploc bag, marinate in the sun, kind of bathing in
Okay.
it. Okay. That's what it is. So if you've had love and then add the crock pot stew and prayer to it, it's all of that. You're walking into so much of God. You can't even imagine the things that God is going to speak to you through the presenters, through the speakers, through the activities, through every moment of this conference is a beautiful thing.
I'm excited because all our facilitators are excited.
Yes.
Every one of them are determined to make sure that they're used in such a manner And
Mhm.
that's what is so exciting to hear people, let's go, let's
Let's
do this
go.
thing, to be
Yes.
lined up with the same purpose. In
Mhm.
every conference I have prayer. And this is not, so people are like, oh, is this a religious thing? This is marketplace ministry. This is
Yeah.
simply what this is. I
Mhm.
bring who I am in my totality because I know who is the one who feeds me. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? I know
Exactly.
who the one who allows me to stand up.
Mhm.
And when you said that 3, 5 years ago, this was the place that God wanted me to be in, but I did not know that, right?
Yes.
I was just, I need to take women behind the veil. I've always been in a place of ministry. Um,
Mhm.
35 years ago when I first joined, as a deaconess, as this and the other, but I didn't know it was going to manifest itself in the
Mhm.
marketplace,
Right. Okay.
in the marketplace. And so this is what I'm talking about when we think about these things, when we hear the word opportunity. Where does God want you to be?
Mm.
And this place here is where I needed to be so that this
Mhm.
particular type of a voice is what's
Mhm.
heard. And
Yeah.
so I'm excited that these are people that are lined up and like, hey, I'm going to pour this out. I'm going to
Yeah.
give everything that I have. I'm going to,
Mhm.
talk about these things. We're going to talk about, again, we're talking about the strength of how to reposition, but we're also going to talk about, really what does it look like for you to
Yeah.
really identify exactly who you are, and how do you
Yeah.
create those innovative mindsets about
Mhm.
being more than who do
Right.
you think you are?
Right, right. It's an assignment. I believe everyone that's attached to you, know you, have experienced you, know that this is an assignment from God.
It
It's
is.
not to be taken, you can't just take something canned that you did 4 years ago, and just bring it to the table. This is something, like I told you, I'm like, I started fasting in August because I'm like, I want all of what God has to say. Everything gets shut down for the next 3 months. No eating sugar, no, stop, stop the world. This is
Wow.
an assignment, right?
Mhm.
But I think everyone comes to it with that heart, because we know that if you selected us, that it is a
Mm.
God thing. And so it is serious. It is very serious, because you have a room of people who are seeking. And even this, like you said, is not a religious event, but because of who you are, it is steeped in your spiritual richness. And
Mhm.
so whatever they're searching for, they're going to get, they're
Mhm.
going to receive, because you have such an ability, a gift from God to select and to hear, really just to hear from God. You hear and you obey. We've had many conversations where I don't even know how you're going to get to the next thing, but you're like, yeah, we going. And then you're like, and you going too. And I'm like, I always say I got that picture of a shoe, a heel shoe right in my back. It's still in my back, and you're still pushing. And so, but that's what we need. I said I
Mhm.
had a word for you,
Mm.
and I just going to say the word, and just tell me what you think. Okay. So the word is layer, layers. What comes to you?
Me, I'm in various layers,
Okay.
and my life is in multiple layers, and everyone's life is actually. Um, I know that this layer, and this level is taking me to another level. This
Okay.
level of obedience, because when you learn precept upon precept, right?
Mm,
Those are different levels.
mm-hmm.
And when I said I don't have the ability to be disobedient, that's a precept. I've learned that as a principle.
Yeah.
Follow him as a principle. Let it
Mm-hmm.
lay on top of each other. So, in
Mm-hmm.
my obedience and my different levels of layers of understanding, my layers of comprehension, my different
Mm,
levels of pain that I've endured, has been something that has taken me to the next level. Um,
mm,
we all have so many different various levels and layers. There's layers of happiness, there's layers of peace, there's layers of joy, there's
mm,
layers of disappointments. So you have to
mm,
make a decision when you get to those different layers, what are you going to get from it? And
mm,
I have had the ability Do you hear what I'm telling you?
I
To
hear you.
learn in my layers.
Mm,
I'm not dead. I'm
mm.
still here. Amen.
Learn in your layers.
Learn in my layers.
Whew.
And so while I
Mm,
learn in my layers, he
hmm.
continues to take things off
Yes.
and he continues to put things on,
Oh,
right?
whew.
So I'm
Yes.
dressing in my layers every step of the way. So
Okay.
where I'm going is a
Hmm.
different level, but I'm
Hmm.
taking those other layers that shouldn't be on me,
Yes.
taking them off. And I only take them off by me learning in that layer. He takes it off. You
Yes.
see what I'm telling you? He
Yeah.
takes it off. And then I have the ability to say, nope, I'm not going back to this. No,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Nope, I'm not staying there no more longer. Nope,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not staying there no more either. Oh, yes,
Yes.
I can obtain this and I deserve it. Or
Yes.
yes, I need to go here because that's what I want. We have to begin in these layers, just
Mm,
peel them off, and let
mm.
the other ones come so that you can learn. That's what
Man.
layers are for me.
Now I told you guys, give her one word. Yeah, she'll work it out. She'll work it out for you. She'll work it out for you. You don't even have to figure it all out. You don't have to have the picture. Give her one word of where you are. That's what you're gonna get. I just want to know. Chandrell says, yes, the transparency always amazes me as well. It creates an atmosphere to release
Hmm,
and receive from God,
that's
our
good.
businesses, and our ministries. You guys, like I said, Natalie Williams is someone you really want to know. You really
Hmm.
want to experience her through the Heart of the Woman conference. It is amazing. We have about 4 minutes left. I could probably go on and on. Oh my goodness, Natalie. So before we end, I want to also mention we have another thing that we are doing that Sisters Healing and Involving. And let me share the screen if I will.
Yes.
Yes, we are excited. So we want everyone to be a part of this. Sisters Healing and Involving Healthy Woman, Healthy Woman, and Capacity Wellness. The Move Well portion of Capacity Wellness is having a health and movement pop up
Hmm.
Saturday, September 9th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We are going to have vendors, we're going to have music, we're going to have health educators, resources. We're really getting into the community to provide health promotion education, not only just for the teachers, for parents, for students, but in the entire community. Also, we are going to be doing a clothing drive. Well, really, it's a clothing giveaway. So, Chandrell has a target of giving out, it was 10,000 pieces of clothes, but I think we got her to come down a little bit. So anywhere between 5,000, let's say 2 to 5,000, we're gonna go with it. We're gonna believe articles of clothing. A lot of these clothing are brand new with tags still on it. We will be giving these things away for free at this event. We are
Hmm.
also going to have a fundraiser. We are going to move our bodies. We're going to have a couple of people, myself, as well as a couple other fitness professionals coming in. You can pay $10 donation to start. You can pay more than that, but we are going to take you through various movements to be able to move our bodies. Our bodies need to move. So definitely scan the QR code, get in contact with She on the website to sign up. We must sign up for this event if you're going to receive clothing. So if you know people in your community that are in need of clothing, we have shoes, we have activewear, pants, dresses, bags. We have all kind of things that are really ready to go, still in the packages for most part. So join us. If you are a vendor, would like to be a vendor, please, please, please contact us as well. There is space for vendors. Um, uh, Health education vendors, but we're also looking at other vendors, food
Hmm.
vendors, any kind of vendor. Just join us on September the 9th. This is going to be a wonderful, wonderful day. It's going to be at the JH Gunn Elementary School. So we have a great space. So spread the word, everyone. She and Capacity Wellness are taking it to the community.
All right. I love it.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Natalie, thank you so much. We got about 1 minute. So, in 30 seconds, wrap up what you would like us to know for the heart of the woman.
Be there. That's all I want to say. Be there. Be in the room. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself and be in the room and show up with a expectation to receive, and
Amen.
never exempt yourself from anything that you can get and obtain. So be there. Look forward to
Amen.
seeing you at Charlotte Motor Speedway, October the 19th and the 20th. And I do want to say for 5 people, if you have 5 guests that you would like to attend, I am offering you guys a special 10% discount
All right. Oh,
on the
let me get
ticket.
my people together.
Yes,
Yes. Yes, yes,
yes.
yes. Awesome. And as you saw in the flyer, I will be there as well. I have my assignment, so I cannot wait. Natalie, we thank you so much on behalf of on behalf of Sisters Healing and Evolving and She Healthy Women. Thank you
You're
again for
welcome. Thank
joining
you.
us and being so transparent. We love you so much.
I love you.
Definitely reach out. Your website is there, the Heart of the Women registration. You guys have a wonderful, healthy, beautiful night. We will see you next month. We have some great plans for next month, so tune in. Have a
Congratulations
great.
on your event too.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you. We are excited. Look, God has it. God
God
has it.
has it.
All
Yes.
right. You guys have a great evening.
Thank you.
Okay, stand by, Natalie.
Yes, ma'am.